and now you're burnt, all your stuff's locked in your condo here, you gotta go stay wherever you are, but that is something to prepare for. I know it seems obvious. From what I understand, it's gotta be one or the other. You can't do both. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pattaya, Thailand, and welcome back to Tempus TV. In today's video, we're talking about something that over the past 3 months, I've noticed a trend, well, two trends really. One, expats that are already in Thailand seem to be leaving. There seems to be somewhat of an exodus, and I know a lot of people that were thinking about Thailand before, whether it be retirement, digital nomad, whatever it may be, now they might be changing their minds. Why is it? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Now, the first somewhat major one, I guess you could say, that's got quite a few people up in arms. At the end of last year, Thailand announced that foreign income coming into Thailand and being held here is subject to tax now. And this has got a lot of people worked up. There's a lot of people that are worried about losing money in their pension, whatever it may be. Over the past few months, some more details have come out about this. And there's quite a few places that if you already pay taxes in one place, you're probably exempt from paying taxes in Thailand. Also, it only has to do with income that is held in Thailand. So if this is something you've been thinking about, that might be a reason why you either want to leave or you might not want to come in the first place. Obviously, I'm just some stupid YouTuber. I don't know anything about tax law. And even when I do read the details, I don't understand what half of it means. So if that's something that you're worried about, I would really recommend talking to a lawyer, seeing if it's something that's actually going to affect you. And if you're in crisis mode, you're having a meltdown, thinking that your plans might not work now because you're going to get taxed a ton on your income, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. If anything, even if you do have to pay, I don't think it's going to be this crazy exorbitant amount. Now, another one that I feel like kind of has a lot of people really worked up for no reason is the rolling back of the legalization on bud here. So if you don't know, Thailand was the first Asian country in general to legalize the use of bud. Sorry, I have to say bud. I know it sounds stupid. If I use the real terminology, YouTube's gonna give me the ban hammer. So what is exactly happening? Well, when it first became legal, it was supposed to be medical use, but then it kind of just ended up being recreational. So now the government is rolling that back. Recreational use is gonna be illegal again, I'm pretty sure on the 1st of next year. Now, especially if you're from America, you spend any time in California, you kind of know how the medical program ended up working out. Essentially, it was kind of a joke. You could go in and say, oh, I don't sleep well, my appetite's not good, whatever it may be, and you give the right person some money and you could get a license. I don't know for sure, but I would kind of imagine that it's same thing with Thailand. It's probably gonna be pretty easy to get approved for medical use, especially if you have a pre-existing condition. Now, I know unfortunately there were quite a few expats that came to Thailand with the thought of opening up weed businesses, and now that's kind of going up in the air. I know one thing for sure, a lot of like the bars and places you see that kind of do both. It's a bar and kind of a weed shop. I know they're really gonna be cracking down on that. From what I understand, it's gotta be one or the other. You can't do both. So minus you planning to open a business here for it, if this is gonna be kind of a no-go for you, if it does end up being as strict as they are saying it is, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Granted, we won't know until the 1st of next year, but especially if you're planning on coming vacation this year, you're good. Now, this next one I think only really pertains to the expats that are already here. It's definitely something that I've dealt with in the past 2 years. I think in a nutshell, some people just have problems acclimating once they're here. It took me a while to get used to kind of the flow of things and how Thailand really goes. And coming with that, it can be kind of hard to make friends, especially with Thais. Now, I think in places like Bangkok, it wouldn't be as bad. It's just a more diverse group of people, but especially in Pattaya, if you're my age, the crowd can be a little bit harder to find like-minded people that are looking to do the same things as you. Pretty much in Pattaya, if you're not looking to party, go to the club, chase girls, it can be kind of hard to find other people that are doing other stuff. So I think one of the smaller reasons, I don't think this is nearly quite as many people as the previous two things we talked about or what we're going to talk about later in the video, but that is something to prepare for. I know it seems obvious. I think some people, when they do get here, especially if you're going to be here long term, they can kind of struggle acclimating. There's certain things about Thailand that are the way they are. They're never going to change, and some people just can't deal with some of those. When we're all online watching these YouTube videos, Instagram reels, whatever, as a content creator, I can tell you that I'm always trying to look for the positives. Now, I don't know about you, but with myself, I don't necessarily like to watch videos that are just negative. So you end up filming the good stuff a lot of the time. The only problem with that is when you watch those videos, unfortunately, you might get an unrealistic expectation of what life in Thailand is actually gonna be like. I know 2 people personally over the past 2 or 3 months. They've been here for around 6 months, both of them, and they're leaving Thailand just because they've seen the videos or heard the stories and they're like, man, it just isn't what I thought it was gonna be. And don't get me wrong, I personally love Thailand. I love living here. But there's things that don't bother me that might bother you. But at the same time, there's things I don't like that you may enjoy. So I would say if you're planning on moving here, especially, just try to show up with an open mind. Don't try to build this whole story of what it's gonna be like when you're here, what's gonna happen, what you're gonna do all the time, because I will tell you, Thailand will make sure it does not go that way. The 2 biggest takeaways from that I can give you is 1, be patient, and 2, expect less. If you can handle both of those things and you can do that realistically, you'll be all right. Now, this next one is for sure a bummer because it's not really anybody's fault. It's just the reality of what living in Thailand is gonna be like. And that is if you're under 50, if you're not planning on marrying a Thai person, or if you're not planning on opening a business and you wanna stay here long term, that's gonna be really hard to do. Now, there are certain visas that you can get for 2-3 years, but then after that, minus you being in one of those other categories that we talked about, visas can get super difficult if possible at all. And the reality that's kind of setting in right now is the whole visa run system. It seems like immigration is really trying to enforce to get rid of that, as well as everything kind of across the board. Things are gotten more strict, more official. Now, I'm sure there's somebody watching who's like, oh, well, I've been in Thailand for 5 years and I've done this many visa runs. It's always been fine. That's great. And if that is you, I would recommend you play the lottery here next month because that means you're really lucky. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but with me, I just don't like to deal with that stress of the possibility that you might not be able to come back in and now you're burnt, all your stuff's locked in your condo here, you gotta go stay wherever you are. So that whole side of things does seem like it's kind of going away. If you're in Thailand right now, or you've been seeing stuff online that you think might be helping to cause this, somewhat of an exodus of expats, feel free to drop it down in the comments below. I would love to hear it. A lot of this is just me kind of looking from the outside in and analyzing, so I would love to hear what you guys think. I am over here by the Jomtien night market. I can smell the Indian food, so I'm gonna go grab me some of that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll catch you in the next one.